Chapter 4. God requires the past. What of your past? Are you still carrying it along with you? The things you overcame and the demonstrations you made. If God requires the past, when are you going to walk through the waters of forgetfulness and let the dead past bury its past? When you have sensed the ever-out picturing of the Jesus Christ consciousness within you, there are so many things to be revealed to you that you have no time to set your little demonstrations in a row and embroider them with details of evil to show how strong was the power which you used at that moment or mayhap to glorify the little human understanding. I have much to tell you, yea, even the things that could not be told to you in Jerusalem because of your unbelief. But now, this mysterious quality called belief, which is not credulity, and which is not human understanding, but an awareness of the inspired presence, here, there, and everywhere, has come to you. And when you are ready, you will hear what the Spirit hath to say unto the churches. If, however, you are concerned with the past overcoming of evil, you are still believing in its reality. The ever-flowing stream of manifestation will suddenly subside. God requires of you the past. The former things have passed away. They shall not be remembered nor come into mind any more. In the archives of memory lie the army of beliefs which strengthen evil admissions of the present. Remembering and going over all designs of evil will eventually cause them to retrace themselves in this present expression. Many a person is suffering not from an accident, but the memory of it, not from a sin, but from the memory of it, with its army of condemnation. Loose it and let it go. Free yourself from the memory of that which you passed through. It is the memory of evil, drilled into us from childhood, which causes us to react so suspiciously towards the world. As you move into the new mansion, in my Father's house, consciousness, are many mansions. You come out from under the former laws, memories, and beliefs. You do not form your basis of judgment from the outgrown basis of evil. Behold, I make all things new, and so the basis of judgment is also new. But where does evil come from, if it's not real? 1,000 times the question arises. Recently, according to a news item, a man jumped into a taxi and ordered the driver to take him to an address a considerable distance away. He settled back for the long ride, when all of a sudden he realized the taxi meter was not working. He noted this irregularity and was about to call the driver's attention to it. Gazing at the man, he noted the low overhanging brow and the hard, sharp features of a crook and thought better of his action. Not to be taken off guard, he thought out the best plan to handle the situation, knowing that the driver had planned a little trick in order to extract an exorbitant fare from him. He thought out his line of conversation and defense, all the while regarding the crook driving the car. He jotted down the number of the driver's license and other information given on the ticket posted inside. He would show this thief that he could not put anything over on him. By the time he reached his destination, he was excited and all set to defend his rights as a citizen. He signaled the driver to stop and got out, at the same time demanding of the driver in very curt tones how much. The hard, sharp eyes of the driver looked at him. The tightly closed mouth slowly relaxed into a warm smile, and a laughing voice replied, "No charge, boss. I'm getting married tonight, and I'm treating all of my clients to free rides." The honest man walked away in silence, too stunned and surprised to say thanks. Where was the crook he had been creating during the long ride? Where was the anger and hate that had caused his pulse to beat degrees faster than normal? Where was the fear that pictured itself the kaleidoscopic fashion of a horror film? You answer it, and the next time you are troubled with the origin of evil, if you will look to the proper place for the cause, you will see that evil lies in judging from appearances. The driver had shut out all these evil thoughts, being filled with the only thing that never faileth, love. Judging from appearances many times materializes the judgment. You actually endow it with the power of your own judgment and cause it to react to you with all the force of your own fear and belief in it. It is like throwing a rubber ball against a smooth stone. It returns to you with all the force with which you throw it from you. Yet at the same time, the same person or situation may be most kind and agreeable to another. Watch, watch, watch. You are standing in the midst of your own consciousness, and the whole outside world is but a self-division of you. When you begin to understand a little the temple of God is with men, revelation, you will see that the temples, or manifestations, are for the purpose of reflecting back to you the state of your own consciousness as so many mirrors. The light need never be in the mirror, but on the object in front of the mirror, and so with the return reflection to any state of consciousness. Whatever it is in your state of consciousness, when it is lighted by your conscious thinking, will be picked up by 1 or 1,000 mirrors in the universe. 1,000 temples will call from the housetop what you have found to be true in the secret of your heart, whether this be good, bad, or indifferent. Therefore, it is foolish to spend further time trying to change the mirrors, the temples, on the outside, for they stand ready and willing to reflect or give back the exact reproduction of your own findings within. Stage fright, fear, etc., is a multiplication of the idea of fear. Suddenly, as you come before 1,000 mirrors, it is multiplied by 1,000, and you see an audience ready to destroy you. You are looking at the simple little thought of fear magnified and witnessed to by 1,000. It is true, then, that the only place of correction is within. And when Jesus was asking you to take the attention away from appearances, he was not asking you to hide your eyes, but to see the uselessness of trying to change something on the outside, which was sustained and kept in position by something on the inside. We do not close our eyes to evil as formerly, with the idea of getting rid of it, but we take our attention away from the supposed point of power or projection and place it on the real place of power. What thou seest, that thou beest, has been interpreted to mean that if you imagine you are something you are not, it will come to pass. In reality, it calls your attention to the fact that what you are seeing in your outward expression is the state of your consciousness made flesh. It should not be discouraging when you come face to face with this rather startling fact. It should stimulate you to know that at last you have found the place of attack. One man's meat is another man's poison, and as a man thinketh, thought being the emanation of a state of consciousness, so is he, are true and just statements. When it is understood what is making the meat and poison and what is causing the thinking, the whole process will be reversed. My thoughts will at no time change my state of consciousness. They proceed from and issue out of the truth or lack of truth I have in my mind regarding a certain object or situation. I cannot change any man on the outside, except superficially, but I can completely make him over as far as his relations and reactions concern me. I cannot at any time control or cause another to do my bidding. Neither can I meddle in any way with his private life. But I can control his reactions to me to the extent that they are harmonious and happy instead of filled with the false things claimed for him by the world or another. When man begins to understand the presence within him, he is not looking for another. He knows that this is he that should come. He knows definitely that the outside is merely the objectification of the inside, and that no matter for the moment whether he can suddenly change it or not, he has at least reached the point of power. The mass fear engendered by the memory and history of your life may seem so real and true that it is inescapable. But it is through this crystallization of conscious thinking that Jesus the Christ nature brought Jesus and caused him to do the thing which he could not do. Jesus knew he could of himself do nothing, and then he knew he could, through the divine nature, indigenous in every man, do all things. He did not try to escape Jesus, but knew that Jesus was the vehicle of expression for the divine nature, the He that should come. Not long ago, I saw a frail little woman, illiterate, ignorant, and with a thin soprano voice, rise, shaking with fear and stage fright. She made a very badly worded announcement that her guide or master was going to lecture through her. With a few physical jerks and motions, suddenly she straightened herself up and in the most cultured and beautiful voice, delivered an address which any scholar would have been pleased to give. The audience sat in wonder. The speaker had escaped, though believing in another power, the limitations of herself. Jesus was faced with the same situation, and so are you faced with the same situation in one form or another. You are not adequate to that task which confronts you, and there is plenty of evidence to the fact that you cannot do it. Jesus immediately knew that he was not looking for another. He knew that this is he that should come, was sufficient to speak all languages, all tongues, and with the wisdom that so far transcended man's feeble attempts as to put it into the plane of pure inspiration. He did not escape from himself. He found himself. So long as you believe in the power apart from yourself, you will keep transferring the expression of your life to some being or entity or master. When you have found me, you will act in accordance with the law governing this me. If your mind is stayed on me, there is no question of the limitations of the little self standing in the way of the glorious expression of your God self, and you will not have to believe in outside helps. When you know there is nothing outside of you to help or harm you, because the whole power lies within, then you have come to the contact which Jesus made with God. I and my Father are one. My Father, the universal presence, is greater than I, and yet this must be expressed through the personal I. Call upon me, and I will answer. I will walk in you and talk in you. You need but open your mouth, and I will supply the words. All these and 1,000 other truths are awaiting the recognition. Come close unto me. Begin to recognize the deity within and magnify the Lord, and see the limitations of this little self absorbed into the Godhead. Stop looking to something outside of yourself and see what this glorious recognition of this is he that should come will do for you. He made himself as God, the same substance, power, and spirit. If he discovered this lovely truth and put it into practice, what use would he have for a master who is using his body like a megaphone? If the master has so much to convey to the universe, would it not be just as well that he took on his own body instead of using another's? Answer me. If your body is to be eternally used as an instrument for some other power to speak through, when is your own glorious expression ever going to have an opportunity to bring out the hidden things, the gift that is within thee? Rising above all this belief and realizing the presence makes all things possible to you. It does not take anything from that which is eternally true, and does not in any way deprive you of the sweet communion with the power of God in whatever form it comes to you, but it does awaken you to the present possibilities of being yourself. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings runs the law. Why? Because they have no memory, no history, no comparison and judgment from appearances, but are actuated from the pure stream of consciousness of the God Self, not yet contaminated by the wisdom of man. Hence the child shall play on the hole of an asp, and the lion and the lamb shall lie down together. The awakened soul who is not looking for another, but has begun the recognition of his own divinity, shall see the reward of this recognition, instead of the bitter harvest of tears he has so long had through the denial of me. If you deny me, I shall also deny you. If you keep transferring your power to another point and recognizing powers outside of me, I shall prove to you this denial is fruitful, and you shall bring forth the hellish crop of fears which you are constantly treating against. Not finding a plausible way to dispose of the evil, you will attribute it to other entities, either embodied or disembodied. Or you will give it a name and run about excusing your failure to life, God, by the fact that someone is malpracticing you, and that a person of another faith is praying against you. I have seen people rushing about pronouncing the cursings and tellings of evil things that would happen to people who did not subscribe to their personal teachings, and sometimes engendering fears in others, when they themselves could not bring out enough substance to pay a subway fare to their destination. Awake thou that sleepest. The next time the messenger of light, who has a fear thought of cursing and evil in the background, approaches you with a sweet morsel of truth, put him in the straitjacket of proof. Look him over carefully, deliberately. I think you will find plenty of signs which indicate his utter lack of ability to bring out even the most necessary things of life. Awake, arise from this dead belief. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out. It is not anything that is said to you, but what you do with it. It may go in one thing and come out another. Watch. Poised in the Christ consciousness, the recognition of your true self, you are not looking for another. He has come into expression when you recognize your own divinity. The temple of God is with man. You will begin to see how the embodiment of God, called man, in millions of forms and shapes, stands ready and willing to cooperate when you recognize the divinity within. Like a million receiving stations, the temple of God stands. When the operation is entirely within and handled with all the integrity of the Jesus Christ consciousness, the temple, at the right place and point, will pick up the word and transmute it into substance. The radio operator cannot reach out in the distance and feel about for a temple to receive his message. He is concerned with the integrity of performing the thing perfectly within. So man begins to see that the thing must be perfectly performed within. The manifestation must and will take care of itself. It makes no difference about the manifestation as long as the integrity of the sending has been held to. Go within, ask the Father. That which you tell the Father in secret, with no judging, seeking, expecting, observation as to what the manifestation will be, shall be called from the housetops. This is such a beautiful literal thing when once learned that it makes life a never-ending joy, full of surprises and revelations. All the lovely sense of integrity is applied to the within, having passed the place of wondering whether the manifestation will be able to find you or not. By the automatic power, nothing can escape its proper place. The fear and speculation about the results are entirely dissipated by the integrity placed upon the work within. Statements of truth become definite laws. That which is told in secret shall be called from the housetops is no more speculative of something to be proven. It is a statement of something that definitely takes place, entirely outside the ken of man's wisdom or knowledge, or anything he may think, pro or con, regarding the subject. It is wonderful. The temple of God is with man. The temple is already into manifestation, and hence you need not worry about not getting through into expression. I go before you to prepare the way is like the inaudible wireless message going out into the night, through the hurricane of appearances, and finding the temple of reception ready to pick up and bring into manifestation the substance of your secret. It is wonderful. Fear not, God is not mocked. Used to be held as a sword of Damocles over the head of the trembling, shrinking sinner. Suddenly it is taken out of this dark, fearsome teaching and thrust into glorious expression. Man's puny intellect cannot understand the eternal justice of the power and the manifestation of the same. I have a way ye know not of, settles once and for always any argument about how, why, when, and where. The automatic power will take care of that. Contrary to all outside appearances, this power suddenly expresses itself because God is not mocked, and you have lost nothing for that which you have done in a secret place, either good, bad, or indifferent. It is wonderful. An interesting incident recently came to me. A woman confided in me that she practically had been the ghostwriter for a series of books which had long been recognized in the metaphysical world as successful, and that the so-called author had literally taken this writing and given her no remuneration nor acknowledged it in any way. From the outside appearances, the said author was now enjoying a great reputation and fame gained from these books, while the ghostwriter remained entirely unknown and unrecognized. The finance which came from the books would have been much appreciated by her. The books being copyrighted, she, having no outside recourse to the matter, was indeed hopeless. Now then, if she judges from appearances, she has a hopeless situation. There is nothing she can do. The more she talks about it, the more she sets in opposition a certain thought which does not and will not believe anything of the kind, and she receives nothing but the bitter tears of failure. When she returns to the center of her being, she finds the glorious revelation that the automatic power of justice, the God is not mocked element operative in the temple of man, can and does find out the rightful one. And though 10,000 fall, or though the way be filled with armed horsemen and chariots and infernal war machines, a new and lovely sense of confidence hovers over. God is mindful of his own when the integrity of the work is kept. When the operator at the sending key releases it and lets it go out into the confusion and intellect of man, he will see it return frightened with substance. It is wonderful. God is not mocked. Nothing that you do within is dependent on the outside situation. You are no more under the law, you are in the Spirit, and hence you come by the way of Spirit instead of the way of man. In coming by the way of God or Spirit, man, manifestation, automatically pulls itself together to form the picture necessary to give Spirit a body and a form. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. It is wonderful. God is not mocked. Nothing that belongs to you can by any possible manner of means escape you. Your disconcern with the manifestation is the divine carelessness, the divine indifference of spirit, moving after its own way and constantly breaking every pattern of human thought. Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is anything too hard for me? You answer it. You, reading this line. Answer me. I said, behold. It transcends the limited, puny human thinking. It is standing in a radiant light of revelation. It is beholding the glorious presence of God, besides which there is no power, not any. I am the Lord, the God of all flesh, of all manifestation. All flesh shall see it together. I did not say some, but all flesh, all manifestation. That means the flesh, situation, problem, or what you will, that has been troubling you. Have you been able to answer yes to all of this? You reading this line? Am I the God of all, or have you another God of evil hidden away in your universe, which causes you to say, yes, I know, but if and maybe? Answer me. What are you hiding from? Are you naked? Who told you you were naked? Answer me. Come out from among these ghosts, forms of ancient history, and be free. Am I the God of all flesh, or have you another? Answer me. Is there anything too hard for me? Is your situation or condition or crystallized belief too difficult to melt like wax in a blast furnace before the coming of me? Answer me. Put your too hard problem before me and see it run down into oblivion before the presence of the One. No matter how frozen or ossified it may be, it shall melt away before this recognition of the presence. Beloved, your problem, no matter what it is, how long it has been standing, what an avalanche of testimony has solidified about it, comes under this glorious presence. Nothing is too hard to this presence, because it does not work from the curse of the law of matter. It is working through the Spirit, which is free from the heavy laws of the belief in duality. All of this wonderful releasement comes through following the revelation of Jesus. When he brought to you the Jesus Christ nature, he gave you the open sesame to the King's treasures. It is wonderful. Is this he that should come, or look we for another? Are you looking for a master to come along and do your work for you, or use your body as a megaphone? Or do you want the voice of Jesus Christ's nature to express through you, to talk in you and walk in you and free its own glorious and golden expression into the universe? Answer me. Is this he that should come, or look we for another? Answer me. Are you beginning to recognize the divinity of your Jesus Christ nature and getting busy about the Father's works, or are you still in a maze of wonderment as to whether he has arrived yet? You cannot be about the Father's work if you are not sure where and what the power is. You do not even know what the Father's work is and think your expression depends on something or other on the outside instead of the integrity within. It is true that when this integrity is kept on the inside, anyone or anything may be used as the temple to aid and assist in bringing out the secret, but never is a favor asked to perform the business of God. If you are about your Father's business, there is no question about being allowed to express, no matter whether this be digging a ditch or writing a book. Nothing can or will block the way that you know not of, for it cannot find it or handle it either mentally or physically. Instantly, I am on the other side of the lake, or I am through the crowd, or I am where you cannot find me. It is wonderful when you see what it is to go by the way of God and stop worrying about the manifestation. When you know that this is he that should come, that the Jesus Christ nature is the nature which carries the government upon its shoulders, then all the little prittle-paddle about evil powers, cursings, malicious malpractice, or any other little buzzing of the gnats of human wisdom are of no interest whatsoever. They are not to be handled. They are not even given the dignity of anything that needs handling. This divine indifference is not the laxity of the lazy, sluggish human mind, but the balanced point of attention to the mind stayed on thee. It is wonderful, this living in your consciousness, this sudden discovery of the kingdom of heaven here and now, right in the midst of the hell of the yesteryears. God requires the past. You are leaving the Sodom and Gomorrah of human teachings, beliefs, and intellect, and coming out onto the high ground of expression. The gift hidden within you is beginning to start from its prison of disbelief and is pushing into manifestation. Its progress is unencumbered by the fears of the past. It is said that the mysteries shall pass away like the waters under a bridge. They begin this passing before your very eyes when you have made the discovery of the divinity of Jesus Christ's nature within you and begin the self-resurrection. Your former capacity to create the chimera out of cloth of belief has been absorbed into the judge not from appearances, and is releasing itself as the heaven here and now, which Jesus so often spoke of. Eternally referring to the within state for the heaven of the without, it is curious that we have tried just the reverse process for bringing it into being. The look again, which is so important to all manifestation, can be done only when the look without has been taken away long enough to let the new picture take form and shape. You are voyaging through heaven, but through the glass darkly of the human conscious thinking. It can be such a burning hell that the little pleasure of the occasional moments of surcease from its flames are hardly worthwhile. You can, and eventually will, discover me in the midst of this inferno of conscious thinking, and that will be the end of all this ugly manifestation. When the flames have subsided, you will find nothing destroyed in all my holy mountain. You cannot behold that which you do not recognize within yourself, either good, bad, or indifferent, and so you know pretty well what is going on in your own consciousness by the pictures you are seeing on the outside. If you know, this is a bitter pill to swallow, because you may be so worthy, so holy, and so true, but it cannot come from any other source. It should be encouraging to have located at last the point of attack. What think ye of Christ? Honestly, what do you think of the Christ Jesus divinity within you? Answer me. Come, let us reason together. Where do you stand? Is there something called your personal problem over which you have no control, which is stronger and more powerful than the lovely Christ? What think ye of Christ? It doesn't make any difference what another thinks. What do you think of it all? Are you beginning to realize that the manifest universe is a self-division of your own consciousness, and that it gives back to you only what you find there? Is it not natural for a doctor to see sick people, and a musician to see musicians, and music, and so on? And cannot these also be twined with 1,000 other thoughts, so that, though the doctor sees sickness, he can also see failure of a personal nature and have no patience while he is in the midst of a sick world, and the musician be utterly swamped with music and yet starve for the want of personal expression? All of these central beliefs may be hung about with thousands of parasitic beliefs of lesser power. The consciousness gives off in the form of recognition that which causes the manifestation to take on certain reactions to it. There is said to be an upas tree in the tropics which exhales a poisonous vapor of such strength that small birds and insects are destroyed by smelling it. Whether this be true or not, the illustration will do to show how it is that when the inspirations do come near the consciousness that believes in evil, or to the consciousness hypnotized by belief, they fail or cease to manifest. Have you ever met the mentality which was absolutely sterile to every offer, suggestion, prayer, or move to help? Its enormous success on a negative side should be a glorious and thrilling revelation to you and to the person using it. Think what such a mentality could do if awakened to the fact that the power of this whole thing lies within, and that the universe is a self-division, so to speak. Man is symbolically stepping before a universe of mirrors, in which is caught and reflected the sight of his acceptance of life. He sees himself in everybody he meets, and presently he begins to know what kind of a man he is consciously. Either the thing he eats is poison, the meat he partakes of kills him, or else, if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not harm them. Man cannot be under both of these influences at once. The choose ye this day whom ye will serve calls for a radical choice. Either you choose the oneness of God or the duality of matter, and the mirrors of your universe immediately begin their casting back of the reflections of yourself. When you come to recognize the literal doctrine of Jesus, that I am the way, the truth, and the life, you will understand such radical promises as, Behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. This beautiful symbology places your problems in the path of your divine revelation, and these beliefs,
shall be trampled into the dust of oblivion. Coming by the way of God, asking for wisdom of God, following the voice within, is the sure path of light and joy in heaven, here and now. Yes, it is written, a little child shall lead them. A consciousness that can accept God as a reality and has done away with 1,001 other powers, any one of which seems to you more powerful than God, and any one of which you can name your problem. Go not back to your former bondage. The way is straight and narrow and does not indicate that it is a hateful straitjacket of human invention. The way of mathematics is straight and narrow. There is no deviation from it if you expect the results. So is the law of the presence. Every time you divide the power and place it in anything else, it weakens the manifestation in you, no matter how unselfish and lofty your ideas may be. You must recognize, I am he that should come, and know that once and for always you are not looking for another. And strange as it may be, the moment you find this within your own consciousness, you find it everywhere and in everybody and in everything and place, confined to none, yet containing them all. This is oneness, wholeness, and God. The glorious thrill of arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee, comes only when you have recognized this power within as the point of communion with God, and have begun at last the Jesus instruction of making yourself as God, of the same nature and substance. Then will you call in all your lesser beliefs and power, take them out of the so-called entities, embodied or disembodied, and magnify the one God in the midst of you. If there be but one, then there is but one only and nothing else. And if he is walking in you and talking in you, he speaks and moves in terms of light, and the physical limitations and fears are not to be considered. The former things have passed away. They have gone out as far as he walking in you and talking in you with the universal consciousness is concerned. Then, is it possible for this one not to be as well equipped to express as any little man or woman who may strut the boards of materiality in gaudy robes, personal teachings, copyrighted or otherwise, bearing a brand of personal teaching? Answer me. Are you still dealing with a little teacher, lecturer, leader, organization, group, or book? Or are you leaving all and following the simple teachings of Jesus and discovering the Jesus Christ principle within you? If so, you are going no more out to see a man, and yet at this point of revelation, you can see me in any man. I can speak to you through any temple. The wireless operator does not know that his message will only be received by the great and lordly passenger boats, things of beauty and loveliness. His help and succor may come through the little dirty coal steamer chugging along at a slow pace with its most unlovely cargo. When did we see thee? Inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, ye have done it unto me. And likewise, one of these might be the temple that momentarily gave forth the light necessary to you. I am not visible always in purple and fine linen, and of course, I am not necessarily always visible in the thing lying in the gutter of life. But I am wherever I am necessary for you to receive the word, even though it be in the desert, in the bush, by the wayside. Do you begin to understand the absolutivity of the teaching as given to us by Jesus? There is nothing but the one. Everything else must go in order that you can possess everything else. Nothing that you look up to and endow with power will be able to stand up to this worship. You will eventually dig out its clay feet and have it crash on your head. You will be hurt by your own self, but you will blame another, and so it will go, until every stone has been overturned and he comes whose place it is to rule. I shall be satisfied with nothing but this, absolute recognition of the divinity of the Jesus Christ within. It is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Heaven and earth are filled with it. Do you hear? There is no place you can go to escape this glorious presence of God. You are moving into oneness, wholeness, and the manifestation will take care of itself. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. You shall see the satanic beliefs which have held sway so long in your life fall from this inner heaven, which is presently to embody itself in the outer. In the twinkling of an eye, the disease and the patterns of disease which have been standing so long in your life are wiped out, and the Satan falls from your consciousness, never to rise again. What think ye of the Christ? Answer me.